Welcome to Solo Shot First, and today we're going to be having a look at something very special, I suppose, to my heart, really, which is the Star Wars Rebel Transport Speeder, plus one Rebel ground crew. Now, I actually picked this up quite a while back. I know you're probably hearing that on a lot of these videos that I do. And I think I actually got this off of, I wish I could find the gentleman's name, off of somebody from, I think it was the Echo Base group. The guy needed a really quick sale. And this was something that I'd always wanted to own. I love everything about that Yavin base, and especially these sort of speeders, which I think are obviously sort of quite basic, but there was just something about them that they're just so iconic, and you know, it just literally rings everything about the sort of the Star Wars bell, I suppose, really, in me. In terms of the packaging on this, I'm not 100% sure what line you would class this as it's probably showcased a little bit better on the back, but you know, they are saying obviously on here, you know, the package does convert to a diorama. Obviously, it's multi-language pill, and obviously it's got some sort of it's a battle game. I presume there's battle game cards in there, so it's obviously sort of to do with that sort of line. But this is a lovely looking card. In terms of the packaging, you get a really nice look of the vehicle, obviously sort of straight on from the front, and that sort of Rebel ground crew is certainly a figure that I don't have, and I don't know whether I think, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong here, I don't think those figures were probably available in any other line. I mean, I know there is and when I say that, I do know that there is I think it's some sort of Battle of Yavin pack. My good friend Daniel Chart will probably know a little bit more about that, where you also got one of these ground crew members on, but I don't think, you know, I certainly believe that these have never been produced on a single card. So getting these figures is also quite difficult, and actually these transport speeders are very difficult, certainly here in the UK, to come by. I do recall hearing a tale of somebody many years ago, now whether it was in, you know, the States or Canada or even here in the UK, sort of saying that they managed to pick these up on clearance for around either £10 or $10, which, wow, if you managed to get this back then you've had an absolute steal. So anyway, it's a lovely looking front of the card. Side on obviously just gives you a sort of slightly different view in terms of the actual Rebel ground crew on the on that speeder. And from that side, it just gives you obviously a look at that ground crew. So let's have a look at the back of the card, of the packaging. And I've got to say, the back of this packaging is really nice. Lovely image on there in terms of what you actually get in this pack. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, because obviously a lot of this is in that multi-language pill. But, you know, this is obviously sort of taken straight from the scene where, you know, that you do see obviously all the Rebel Alliance are gearing up for the battle, sort of heading off towards the Death Star. So lovely looking back of the card. We shall go and have a quick look at the front of it again before we get this open. So just one final look at the front of this. You know, it almost seems a shame to open this, but, you know, it's one that I would have loved to sort of keep carded. But at the end of the day, you know, I like a lot of these things open, and that's the only way. You know, I suppose there's two arguments. People obviously want to keep these things carded and as a collector, but at the end of the day, these are toys, and they deserve to be set free, I suppose, in some ways. I'm sure some people will disagree. But anyway, let's, without further ado, get this out of the packaging and have a look. As I said, I'm sure the actual speeder itself, I think I'm pretty sure, is quite basic. But it's just such an iconic vehicle. So let's get this out of the packaging. Okay, so here we've got the vehicle out of the packaging itself. Now, as I said, let's just pop those doors back down very quickly. This is it's a strange one, really, because it's a really basic vehicle. Let's move that figure out of the way for a second. I mean, it literally is just designed to sort of move a little bit of cargo around, and obviously, you know, move the figures around. You can actually pop the figures on here, to sort of transport them inside sort of the Yavin base. So there's not too much to report in terms of you know what, you know, the base, the vehicle is so basic, it really is. But you know, it's on the wheels, as you can see there. So you know, you've got a nice little bit of detailing underneath. Not massive in terms of this sort of no weathering or colouring on of this. In the back, you know, these are obviously just meant to be the lights. Nothing lights up on this vehicle as you would expect. These are meant to be a couple of cargo boxes. And obviously this is just where the actual Rebel ground crew as pilots, it just sort of standing in there. So let's just, I haven't taken his gun out, but let's just pop him in so you can see as an example. That's how he would look. And then you've got the figures, obviously, that are meant to then sit on the outside. But to me, this just literally just is everything. And I know I'm going probably a little bit overboard, but I just love that whole scene in Yavin 4. And again, one of the reasons why I wanted this was a while back, and I did share this with my good friend Nick a long time ago over at the Only One Kenobi channel. I tried to sort of put together a sort of a diorama piece of Yavin base, but didn't get the sort of some of the things quite right. I mean, some of it looked okay, but others didn't. And my end goal is to eventually again put something quite a decent size together, and hopefully be able to put maybe like an X-wing or something like that in, and then, you know, maybe, you know, have this around there with some power generators and boxes, etc. Just so that, you know, you're trying to sort of basically capture everything like they do in the film. But I just love this vehicle for something that is such a basic vehicle. It's just so iconic. It really is, to me. So I'm really, really happy that I've got that in my collection. As I said, I know these are quite difficult to come by. So in terms of the ground crew figure that comes with this vehicle, he's actually got really decent, sorry, I'm just trying to get him to stand here on this table. He's got some pretty decent articulation. You know, in terms of a swivel at the head, articulation at the elbows, articulation at the shoulders, swivel at the wrist. Obviously the legs move up and down, but he's got articulation at the knees and at the ankles. So by no means the full sort of bells and whistles that we have been getting in the modern stuff. But I think this was probably released, oh God, do you know what? I'm not 100% sure, but I think it was, just trying to have a quick look at this box. I don't know if anyone can maybe enlighten me on this, but I'm just trying to see when they sort of first released this. 2011, possibly. So yeah, I think that's about right. So sort of coming up, you know, 11 years old already. The figure's great. The vehicle's great. Said not too much to report in terms of what it does. Everybody knows watching that, but obviously you do have these cargo doors that open, which is quite nice. You can get obviously a few bits and pieces in there, and quite nice looking for what it is. You know, it's as simple as that. I've not removed the gun from the figure at the moment, but we'll just pop him in there to give you an idea of how that looks. And at the end of the day, this was just something I'd always wanted in my collection. So absolutely chuffed to get this and finally have it open. And hopefully down the line I'll be able to put this into a decent diorama. But I would say to you, you know, again, if you're a Star Wars fan, and I'm assuming anyone watching this channel probably does enjoy that, silly thing to say, but you know, this is probably a must, you know, if you want to sort of add this to your collection, if you can find this at a good price. I mean, these go for quite silly money now, I believe, and that full sort of Yavin battle pack, I think, goes for ridiculous money. But this was a great find, a great pickup. I was over the moon to get this. So really, really pleased to have this in my collection. So anyway, listen, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you do, please hit the like button and subscribe. There'll be more videos coming shortly. If you've got any questions or you want to comment on this at all, then please leave them in the comments section below and I'll come back to you as soon as possible. I really hope you have enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.